Hey there guys, it's Laurel Beard here today, bringing you this triangle butterfly birthday card here. That background stamp set is absolutely cool. It's from Concord and Ninth. I got it from the Foiled Fox. It's called the Triangle Turnabout stamp set, and it's fantastic. Now, before I started playing with this, I went over to the Concord and Ninth blog and watched a video that Angie did showing you how to use this stamp set and how to line it up. So what I've done is cut down a piece of cardstock to 6 by 6 and I placed it on my MISTI stamping tool. Then I take the triangle stamp set and I line it up. It's hard to see because it's a clear stamp, but there is a triangle right in the middle of that stamp, and you will line that triangle point up right with the center of that template there that makes the X. Then there are 2 triangles on each corner that you kind of line up with your X line. And that's pretty much how you line up the stamp. Now that probably made absolutely no sense, but it's easy once you get your hands on the stamp to do that point. You just want to line up the triangle in the center of the X, and then you want to make sure that you line up 2 triangle points on the long diagonal line that makes the X. Very easy to do. You can head on over to the Concord and Ninth YouTube channel and get a clear understanding if I've just confused the crap out of you. That's a piece of a 4 1/4 by 5.5 cardstock. That's what most of us card makers use. So I wanted to show you how you create the background. I lined it up on the center there of the template there. I used a Sharpie so I could actually see the X. So I was able to center my cardstock down onto the template there. I secured it in place using some temporary tape. I inked up the triangle background stamp with the Worn Lipstick Distress Oxide. I'm stamping with the Distress Oxides today. So that's worn lipstick. Look how easy you wipe it off because it's a water-soluble ink. It just comes right off. Now here's where you do the turnabout. You can turn it whatever direction you want. You just pick up the template that you created there, that 6 by 6 card, and you just turn it. I'm going to be turning to the left the whole time. I make sure to line up that template in the corner of my MISTI, and I will always get perfect stamping and alignment. This is the Spiced Marmalade Distress Oxide color. Just giving it a good press. I love using the MISTI. Using this stamp with the MISTI tool, it's a match made in heaven. I tell you, it makes it so easy. So here I am going to turn it again. That's where it gets its name. Again, just make sure you're turning it in the direction at all times and you'll get perfect alignment. This is the Wilted Violet Distress Oxide color. Such a pretty purple. And then I'm stamping that down here. Pressing. Now I didn't get a good impression, so I'll ink it up and press down again. Another benefit of using the MISTI here. That's just a microfiber cloth and water, by the way. And last, I decided I needed to add in like a neutral color, so I'm using some Hero Arts charcoal ink for the final impression. Now, you don't have to use all 4. You don't have to turn it 4 times. You can use it once, twice, 3, 4 times a lady. I think that's Kenny Rogers. It's really whatever you want to do. I just love this background. I think it's so cool. You could make it the same color if you want. Keep it in the same color family. Obviously, I went a little wild and crazy here, but there's a lot you can do with this. It's really stinking cool. So I went ahead and trimmed that panel down to 4 by 5 1/4, and now I'm going to work on the butterfly here. This is also a stamp and die set from Concord and Ninth. So first I needed to create a little wash of watercolor. So I'm going to use the same colors that I used on that triangle background, but I'm going to add in fossilized amber. Adding in a little yellow, so I'm applying a clean wash of water, and then I'm just going in and dabbing on some color with the oxides. You can dry them in between, and then you won't get muddy colors. If you were to mix a purple and a yellow together, you're going to get brown. But with the oxides, you don't have that. That's a benefit of the oxides, which is why I love it. You can pile on color upon color upon color and not get mud. You just need to dry it in between. So that's why you'll see me always taking my heat gun to the paper. So I should have done the whole entire panel here. You see I only did the left-hand side here. I did flick on a little bit of water there to get some water dots. And then when I put my butterfly die on, I saw I needed to, I didn't have enough color down. So I'm going to go in and add a little bit more color here using the same colors. Again, drying in between. Wanted to use some colors that would obviously match the triangle background there we created. And I just love the soft look. Now the oxides also give you like a chalk-like finish. Very different from other inks. So they're just, so the benefits are you can stamp with them, you can watercolor with them. They won't turn to mud because you can put color on top of color as long as you dry in between. That's the key. So I went ahead and ran that butterfly die through my die cutting machine, and I'm going to hack off the, I'm just going to cut it apart. That die is actually intended to, it's actually a cool die. It creates kind of like a card panel, a hinged card panel, and the butterfly is the focal point. But I'm not using it as it was intended. I'm actually just using it. I want the butterfly shape there. So I also stamped the butterfly body with some Hero Arts charcoal ink. I didn't do that on camera. I'm going to add a little bit of purple to the edges of the butterfly just to tie into the purple on that triangle background there. And then we'll go ahead and assemble this card, and we're almost done. It's a pretty busy card, so I kept the butterfly colors somewhat soft, and I didn't add too much else to this except for a sentiment here, just because that background is so cool. And just think of all the different color combinations you can do with this. You know what I'm saying? It's really a cool stamp. They create the most inventive dies and stamps, I tell you. So there I am adhering the butterfly body there. Again, that was stamped with some charcoal ink and die cut. Then I'm going to take the happy birthday from the butterfly stamp set there. And I went ahead and stamped that with some white pigment ink and sprinkled on some white embossing powder onto a black card strip there and cut it down. Going to adhere the butterfly card panel here to some charcoal gray cardstock here. And then I'll add the sentiment strip. I didn't know did I want it to go over the entire panel? Did I want it to go to the right? Did I want it to go to the left? What did I want to do here? I decided to put it over to the left to kind of anchor the butterfly a little bit more. You can see I'm like, do I want to make it a tail of the butterfly? Whatever. I was playing around, and this is what I ultimately ended up going with. I'm using some of that double-sided foam tape again that I used on the back of the butterfly, by the way, so the butterfly is popped up just a little bit. And then I'll adhere that down. And adding a little bit of dimension does not add extra postage to your envelopes, just so you know. This is just a little bit of dimension. Now, if you go crazy and you raise it up, yeah, you'll probably have to use extra postage here. Going around with a clear wink of Stella, added it to the body, to the sentiment strip, and also to the gray card base that is shining through. And so I've got like this sparkly gray, and I've got that cool triangular background there. I just think it's really cool. Now, all of the products that I used today, I got from the Foiled Fox shop. I encourage you to check it out. I will link below in the YouTube description to the shop and to all the supplies I used, and also over on my blog post. And that's the card for today. I hope you guys had fun. Give it a whirl. If you use this background stamp, I'd love to see what you do with it. Let me know. Thanks so much for watching.